This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Hearts are heavy across Maine tonight after a Maine State Police K-9 was killed in the line of duty during a violent standoff in Portage last night. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Devin Dagnall. An Aroostook County Sheriff's deputy was wounded in that same standoff and is recovering. The suspect who allegedly fired at police is dead.
The Maine Department of Public Safety says authorities responded to Ranger Street in Portage for a domestic dispute involving 29-year-old Stephen Regini. A woman reported she and Regini had been fighting and that he pushed her into a wall. When police arrived to help her leave, she was outside, but Regini was still inside with their 4-week-old infant. Maine State Police say they eventually talked Regini into coming outside, but there was a struggle when they tried to place him under arrest. Officials say he pulled a gun from his waistband and shot at the officers while fleeing back into the home. They say Regini continued to fire at them as police tried to back out of the driveway. Aroostook County Sheriff's Deputy Shane Campbell was shot in the shoulder. It all came to an end around 8 p.m. when Regini tried to flee in a vehicle, but when police disabled that vehicle, he then fled on foot. K-9 Preacher, a 4-year-old Belgian Malinois, was deployed to apprehend Regini when he was shot in the abdomen. Regini then fired at police. Police returned fire and shot Regini, killing him. Officials say the infant in question was not hurt and was returned to her mother. K-9 Preacher was taken to an emergency vet in Presque Isle for treatment. A spokesperson says despite efforts to save him, he succumbed to his injuries early this morning. He was surrounded by his handler, Sergeant Jonathan Russell, and several members of the tactical team when he passed. Maine State Police Colonel William Ross called Preacher a dedicated partner, a protector, and a hero who made the ultimate sacrifice to protect others from harm. And per standard protocol, the 2 officers involved in the shooting are now on administrative leave while the Attorney General's office investigates the use of deadly force.
A police standoff in Brewer came to a peaceful ending last night. Officers from Brewer Police, Bangor Police, and Penobscot County Sheriff's Office were all on scene. Brewer Police say a domestic assault was reported to one of their officers. They say an investigation revealed the woman had been assaulted multiple times, including with a firearm. According to Brewer Police, she was able to escape and was taken to a local hospital for serious injuries. Brewer Police identified 22-year-old Richard Bach as the alleged suspect. They located him at a residence on Riverview Terrace in Brewer. Police say because of his violent history and the belief he had a gun, they conducted surveillance. Law enforcement surrounded the residence and attempts were made to get him out. A door was breached and he eventually came out. Bach is being charged with multiple charges, including aggravated assault, criminal restraint, and creating a police standoff.
In other news, the body recovered in a fishing vessel that sunk off the coast of Washington County has been identified. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner says the body recovered from the sudden impact by divers on Sunday is that of Chester Barrett of South Addison. A search for Chester and his son Aaron began on January 18th when he and his son were reported missing. The two were heading from Edmonds to South Addison aboard the sudden impact when it sank in 160 feet of water near Moose River. A statement says the Maine Marine Patrol will continue periodic patrols in the area with the goal of locating Aaron's body, which was not found on board or near the sunken vessel.
A bipartisan coalition of lawmakers from Hancock County are working on a slate of bills that would allow Maine towns to take ownership of abandoned dams. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard explains.
And so we're trying to plug the holes as we're finding them.
Representative Nina Milliken, a Democrat from Blue Hill, is talking about 6 proposed bills she sponsored that aim to tackle issues with Maine's laws surrounding the abandonment of dams. That includes LD 62, an act to support municipal and county actions on dam ownership, a bill that was written and submitted by the Department of Environmental Protection. The bill was submitted due to recent actions by dam owners in the Bucksport area attempting to abandon their dams.
If the company that owns the dams in Hancock County were successful in being able to abandon them, they would have the right to drain Toddy Pond, Alamoosic Lake, and Silver Lake.
The companies are attempting to abandon their dams by using a law passed by the Maine legislature in the 90s that apparently allows for such actions.
As far as I know, that statute has never been used to completion in Maine so far, and because of that, we are finding, as this process goes on right now in Hancock County, that there are a number of places where that statute could have been drafted better.
Representative Milliken says that while her name is on the bills, she's not the only member of Hancock County's delegation that supports and is pushing for these changes. In fact, it's a bipartisan effort, including Representative Stephen Bishop and Senator David Hagan, both Republicans, as well as Democratic Senator Nicole Grahowski.
That would extend the timeline laid out in that statute that was put in the 90s so that communities have a longer opportunity to respond when a company tries to abandon those dams.
The bill will now face a public hearing and work session before facing a full vote of the legislature. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and hit pause here. We'll peek outside and get a first check of the forecast.
Thank you so much, Beth and Devin. Another warmer day out there for today. 2 days in a row, we're on a roll over freezing temperatures. We're talking Waterville here in town, right around 33 degrees. So yes, above freezing once again. Rockland stretching into Bar Harbor. We saw some mid-30s out there. Up north, Greenville, you were only at 27 degrees. No surprises there, right? Now, overall, though, we did see 1 to 2 inches of snow overnight into the morning hours today. Still some lingering flurries out there, even a couple of snow showers, especially right about here where some of the snow is getting under the radar, but there are some very limited visibilities in some spots well up north as well. We are still looking at a few lingering flurries and some light snow showers. Visibility wise though, not bad at all. Pretty much all of our viewing area is good to go. 10 miles of visibility in the most northwestern parts of the state. That's where there is some limited visibility. Now, lots of snow on the ground. Look at all these colors. 8-9 inches here in town. Greenville, you are right around a foot plus of snow on the ground. Now, overnight tonight though, we're going to continue to cool off. We're going to see some clear skies out there. Temperatures near 0 degrees. Beth and Devin?
Alrighty, thank you. Well, coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, our Alex Schley was in Skowhegan to highlight how hospitals are navigating the recent closures of birthing centers in Maine.
And the Maine Department of Transportation is looking for bids in order to build suicide prevention barriers adjacent to the Penobscot Narrows Bridge. We'll have those stories and much more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
The best bulls in the world have come to town. For bull riders, 8 seconds can make them a champion or nothing. It's bull time. Banger! Get your tickets now at pbr.com/tickets or Ticketmaster.
With winter here, you'll want to feel safe on the road. So take action by heading to your Toyota all-wheel drive headquarters for our Washington's Birthday Sales Event. College students and recent grads could get a $500 rebate over and above most other offers. Toyota, let's go places.
Scudic & Bloom, a full-service, custom-designed florist, Main Street in Winter Harbor.
We can deliver one-of-a-kind, full-color flower arrangements
By custom floral designer me, Pam.
delivering to Ellsworth and surrounding areas for any occasion.
Please visit scudicandbloom.com or call 844-SCUDIC.
I'm Jim with Lowry & Associates. A husband and wife called me after they were hit by a drunk driver. We've got them a $400,000 settlement they were able to use for their retirement. Call me. I'm your go-to guy.
It's high school basketball season, and ABC 7 and Fox 22 are here to keep you up to date with your local scores and highlights during Friday Night Fast Break. Get out and support your hometown teams and look for our sports crew to get your own free Friday Night Fast Break t-shirt courtesy of
Coastal Auto Parts Old Town, Corinth Auto Parts, McCusick Petroleum, Waldo County YMCA, Whitney's Family Supermarket, and Winterport Furniture.
Ready to have some fun? Yeah! Somebody's having a night tonight. I love this wheel. Yes!
Weekdays at 7 on ABC 7.
The best bulls in the world have come to town. For bull riders, 8 seconds can make them a champion or nothing. It's bull time. Banger! Get your tickets now at pbr.com/tickets or Ticketmaster.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. After roughly a year-long delay, the Maine Department of Transportation is seeking bids soon for a construction project to build suicide prevention barriers along the Penobscot Narrows Bridge. According to a spokesperson for the Maine DOT, the project was delayed after it was determined they needed to perform additional testing to ensure the design of the project did not compromise the overall safety and performance of the bridge. This project is the result of a law that was passed in 2023. The barriers aim to prevent people from jumping off the bridge, which has been the scene of numerous suicides since its construction in 2006.
The main challenge has been the delay because we needed to check to make sure that this fencing was not going to have any sort of adverse impact on the bridge or the people using it. We're past that hurdle. We're optimistic that we can move this project into construction in the next few months and get it done before the peak summer season.
Suicide prevention advocates have lobbied for a barrier on the bridge for years. Merrill says they plan to open bids later this month and hope to have a contractor selected by March.
Well, nonprofit organizations from across Maine were at the State House today to help showcase their important work to lawmakers. The Maine Association of Nonprofits hosts the annual gathering as a way to help those organizational leaders connect with their local lawmakers and vice versa.
And what they're here to talk to their legislators about is for the legislators to understand that the decisions they make here are very important, whether it's the state budget or it's types of things that might be impacting how housing gets determined, or all the different types of things, state regulations when it comes to land use. There are all kinds of ways that nonprofits are trying to achieve their missions to support their communities that state legislators are really critical for.
Northern Light Health announced last month that it will be closing its birthing center in Waterville, one of the few options for expectant parents in central Maine. So what does this mean for patients who plan to deliver there? Our Alex Schley takes a look at how other hospitals are preparing.
In January, Northern Lights Inland Hospital and Women's Health in Waterville announced that they will be suspending birth services on March 1st. In a statement to Fox Bangor, Senior Vice President of Northern Lights Health and Chief Marketing and Communications Officer Suzanne Spruce said, in part, quote, "The decision to suspend a service like this is never easy. This decision was made after much thoughtful discussion and with careful consideration given to how to best care for the expecting parents in these communities." Spruce says Northern Light has been working with Maine General Health, Redington Fairview General Hospital, and other Northern Light facilities to transition parents to surrounding medical centers. At Redington Fairview General Hospital, birth center nurse manager Allie Tully says she hasn't seen an increase in patients yet, but they are ready.
In the birthing center, we haven't seen anything yet. You know, March 1st isn't here yet, but I do know Redington is just trying to make the transition as easy as possible for individuals that choose to come here.
Redington Fairview General Hospital's family physician, Dr. Abigail Masterman, says the staff at the hospitals will work together through the transition.
If a patient is established in Waterville for their regular life and their primary care, then it makes sense for them to continue there. If they have a really good experience here and want to continue with our providers, that's probably possible. It really depends on what they're looking for.
Masterman says birthing center closures aren't just happening here in Maine. It's a nationwide issue. Healthcare workers say they're seeing a decrease in birth center staffing across the country.
One big issue is recruitment of providers and staff who provide services.
Masterman says this can be seen especially in rural communities, and while experts are working to address the shortage, birthing centers continue to close across the country. In Skowhegan, I'm Alex Schley for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, still to come on ABC7 News at 6, our Jody Hersey was in Bradford to highlight a talented local woodworker.
And in sports, playoff hockey is here. The Penobscot Pioneers have earned their third straight home playoff game, and it's tomorrow night in Brewer. That story is right after the break.
Gun Sports and Brewer knows that for fun, exercise, and meeting new friends, nothing is better than ice skating. Whether it's sailing down the ice, making a great pass, and scoring in a game of hockey, or the grace, strength, and expression of figure skating. From the youngest child all the way to adulthood, anyone can enjoy the fun of skating. At Gun Sports, we supply the equipment for your skating fun for great prices, the proper fit, and service after the sale. Shop your locally owned Gun Sports Shop, Greenpoint Road in Brewer.
If you haven't walked through the showroom at Davis Brothers Furniture in a while, we invite you to come take a look. At Davis Brothers, we've always strived to stand out from the rest. For decades now, the goal has been the same. Give people a reason to travel from all over the state and beyond to Davis Brothers Furniture in Guilford. Everything in our showroom is designed with you in mind, from a rustic lodge and barn look to traditional and even contemporary furniture. It's more than just a unique look, it's a lifestyle. Davis Brothers Furniture, deliberately different.
Your favorite restaurants for half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
Looking for a place the whole family will love? Gilmore's Restaurant has something for everyone. From legendary boneless wings to weekly specials and refreshing drinks, we're your neighborhood favorite. Whether it's family dinner or a night out, Gilmore's Restaurant is where memories are made. Family friendly and flavor packed. Visit us today.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
I feel like you really get me.
Well, you know, I do my best.
Our first commercial was a hit. What's our next move? Talk like that all the time?
Yeah, and we could sell baked goods.
How about a jingle? Get ready for winter at Frost Garage.
Let's have a circus. Huh?
Let's just tell people the truth. We'll get your snow tires mounted.
And we'll get you some winter wipers.
We'll make sure your battery's ready to go. Exactly.
We don't need a gimmick.
Get your vehicle ready for winter at Frost Garage in Hamden.
Welcome back in, folks. Maine men's hockey got back on track this past weekend, taking down Northeastern on Friday by a score of 3-1, then 20th ranked UMass 3-2 on Sunday. The Black Bears now find themselves in their 5th top 10 series of the year as they'll take the trip down to Rhode Island this weekend to take on the 7th ranked Providence Friars. The Friars are on the back end of a month-long gauntlet with series against Boston College, UMass Lowell, and UConn, losing 5 of their last 6 over that stretch. But the Black Bears know they'll get their best come Friday.
They have a lot of skill in their team this year too. I think they're more skilled than they've been the last couple of years. So not only are they going to hit you and finish every check and always be above the puck, they're going to make plays. And so it's as good of a team as different than a BCBU, like obviously heavier, different type of game, but it's as good of a team as we'll play.
Puck drops on Friday at 7 p.m. down at Schneider Arena. Staying on the ice, playoff hockey is here in Maine. The Penobscot Pioneers, in their 3rd straight season operating, will host their 3rd straight home quarterfinal game on Wednesday night against Lewiston. The Pioneers finished in 4th place this year in Class A North after losing 6 seniors last year. They say all they had to do to get used to a brand new lineup to start, but the Pios finished the year with a spark, trailing Portland, the 2nd-ranked team in Class A South, 7-2 in the second period. The Pioneers fired back to take a 9-8 lead in the 3rd before falling in overtime, and they feel good heading into quarterfinals.
Getting used to having a brand new lineup this year was a big challenge that we overcame, but we came together. I think teamwork and just bonding as a hockey family really brought us to success this year.
I think it's very good because it's the first game that we've done that this season. I feel like once we usually get back on games, we don't step it up, but to have that as the end of the season and going into playoffs, I think we're ready.
Williams also notched her 150th career point in that game, too. The Pioneers are a varsity co-op made of 7 schools from the Penobscot area, but every year their team chemistry is off the charts, and they've all collectively come together from seniors to freshmen and are ready to roll on Wednesday night.
All around the board, whether you were a freshman, whether you were a senior, we all spoke our own voice. We all came together. We all listened to each other. We're one big family, no matter who you are. We're all with the sisterhood. So
our freshmen have definitely stepped up for the end of this season. I feel like they were a little shy at first, but we've obviously stepped it up. And I think we have a good flow going into the playoffs.
That's all the time we have for sports. Here is your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you very much, Jack. That was some good stuff there. Now, overall, though, look at this. I'm calling this the Wintry Highway Express. Lots of low-pressure systems moving all the way across the country from the western states, mainly into the northern parts of the country, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, into Michigan, and then, of course, all of that making its way into the northeast. So we will see a couple more rounds of snow the next 5 to 6 days. And get ready, possibly for Super Bowl Sunday. We are looking at a big low-pressure system in the area all over the northern parts of the country, where some places are going to see well over 6 inches of snow in Wisconsin, Michigan, North Dakota, Minnesota as well. Now, for our area, not quite that much, but still possibly even over 6 inches in a few locations. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Overall, though, we did see 1 to 2 inches of snow. Still a few lingering flurries out there, mainly up north. That's where we're seeing those lighter snow showers as well. But most of that accumulative snowfall is long gone. Overnight tonight, lots of clear skies out there. Cold temperatures, though. We're going to be bitterly cold by tomorrow morning. And then for Wednesday, we are in the clear. By Thursday, we're going to see more snow back in the forecast all over the state, mainly rolling in after that morning commute, right around the 8-9 a.m. time frame. That's when the snow will begin to fall, and then picking up in intensity by the afternoon to evening hours. You see all these darker bands, all these darker blue colors. That's indicating some even moderate snow in the forecast. Now, this is just through Thursday into early Friday morning. We're looking at generally around 1 to 3 inches of snow. Some places will see more than that, around 4 inches in some locations, especially north, mainly north of Dover, Foxcroft. That's where you could possibly see right around 4 inches of snow. Overall, though, you know, we still are a couple of days away. Models are not in quite of an agreement, but it does look like a pretty good snowmaker in the forecast. Even bigger snow in the forecast for Super Bowl Sunday. Now, high temperatures, though, right around 33 degrees here in town earlier today, 36 in Bar Harbor. Rockland, you were at 36 as well. Big winners out there for those warmer temps. Our average right around 29 degrees here in town. We're going to be well below that for tomorrow. Close to the average on Thursday, above average for Friday. Check that out once again. Back in those mid-30s, and then some mid-20s out there for the weekend and into beginning of next week for Super Bowl. Looks like we're going to be right around 25 with a lot of snow back in the forecast. Now, we are looking at small craft advisories in effect till right around 7 a.m. on Wednesday, and a gale warning in effect till right around 7 a.m. on Wednesday as well, with some very gusty winds out there. We're talking sustained winds around 24 miles an hour, wind gusts right around 35 in some spots. So get ready. These gusty winds will be continuing overnight and then at least into the day tomorrow. Our extended forecast outlook does show lots of sunshine out there for Wednesday. Snow in the forecast on Thursday, and it does look like maybe a bigger system in the forecast for Super Bowl Sunday.
Alrighty, Conrad, thank you.
Still more to come after the break.
I slipped and fell on some ice in a parking lot.
Slip and fall? Make the call to Maine's most recognized personal injury law firm, the law offices of Joe Bornstein.
I'd recommend their services to anyone. Call Joe. It's that easy.
Are your basement walls bowing, crumbling, or failing? Hi, I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. All things basementy. Our Stable Lock wall system offers a patented, affordable, and permanent solution to save your foundation walls. It stabilizes, fills voids, and structurally repairs, leaving a new, smooth surface. All the strength of new walls. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
Winter is a time to get outside and enjoy all that Maine has to offer. And when it's time to come inside, rest assured everything's toasty because of your Fujitsu heat pump from Valley Home Services. The comfort and warmth of home means more on days like these. Push a button and you'll be snuggling up on the couch in no time. Valley Home Services offers reliable rebates, significant energy savings, and expert installation. Embrace the comfort of Fujitsu heat pumps from Valley Home Services. Call or click today.
The Furniture Gallery is celebrating President's Day. Camp and Cottage queen mattresses starting at just $198. Revolutionize your space with a cozy recliner. 3 color choices for only $298. Declare your independence from outdated furniture with a sofa chaise for $598. Or a sofa and love seat set, just $798. Get comfortable with the Scott Living King mattress, yours for the price of a queen. And don't miss these clearance deals up to 70% off. Hurry into the Furniture Gallery before these monumental deals are history. The Furniture Gallery.
Tell the insurance company you mean business. Call Joe Bornstein, right now.
Call the firm that has been getting justice for Mainers for 50 years. If you've been injured in an accident, call Joe.
A quick national note, Shamrock Shake season is upon us. McDonald's Shamrock Shake is a milkshake made with vanilla soft serve, ice cream, minty green syrup, and whipped topping, and it will return to McDonald's restaurants on Monday, February 10th, so make note. In addition, the Oreo Shamrock McFlurry made with vanilla soft serve, minty green syrup, and Oreo cookie pieces will also be on the menu.
Turning back to our local news, Best Buddies is the largest international organization dedicated to ending the social, physical, and economic isolation of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Since launching a chapter in Brewer, high school students are helping to achieve that one mission, one friendship at a time. Our Grace Blanchard explains.
In its first year, the Best Buddies chapter at Brewer High School has already become the largest chapter in the state of Maine.
It's something that I think the disability community in this area has been looking for a long time.
The program aims to foster one-to-one friendships by partnering students with and without intellectual and developmental disabilities.
I think that friendship and inclusion is a huge piece for our students, and we just want everybody to have a friend and to feel included.
The chapter is run by volunteer advisors and teaching staff that support the student-led leadership team.
I really like it because I just like being included in things.
Get to do normal things that you and your friends do. You just like go out, see each other like once a month and just do fun things, right, Ryan?
Yeah, and we also play basketball down Brewer Community School.
According to the school's principal, this program complements their mission to create a welcoming environment.
I want every student to feel like they belong, not just that they're accepted here. I want them to belong here. I want this to be their school.
The chapter's president says they're already seeing a real impact.
Last year, everyone with IDDs just kind of sat at a table together, and then this year they're really spread out and they're always sitting with their buddies. It's every time someone walks by them in the hallway, they're like, hey, it's amazing.
Students shared what they've taken away from this program.
It's always to be kind to people, no matter what it is. Like, you never know what they're going through.
But you can be nice to anyone, no matter who they are.
Exactly what she said.
In Brewer, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Looks like a great program there. Well, gaming is a popular pastime for youth, but one Bradford mom is turning gaming into a real moneymaker. Our Jody Hersey explains.
I've learned in Maine especially, you can never have too many cribbage boards.
Megan Benavides of Bradford has never played cribbage in her life, but that hasn't stopped this talented woodworker from making cribbage boards.
I feel like in Maine that is a family game, and I love hearing people tell me, oh, I play with my grandkids, or I got them this board, and it's an heirloom, and they keep it forever.
Benavides uses birch wood and a laser engraver. She designs some boards with 4 layers and others with 7 and 8 layers of wood so people can store their playing cards and pegs inside.
That's what I love about them. I love making unique ones, especially because that's what people want. Like, they don't want 10 of the same one. So I love that people collect them and they like different styles.
This mom of 2 does all her work at home after her kids go to bed and sells her products at craft fairs, on Etsy, and on her website, willowberryworkshop.com.
Benavides has sold her custom cribbage boards in all 50 states, as well as the Netherlands, Germany, Canada, and Japan.
Last year was my best year yet, and this year going to be even better.
In Bradford, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
I don't know. I think regardless of whether you play cribbage or not, those are just works of art that you want in your home.
Yeah, no, those look amazing.
Yeah.
I got somebody in mind who would want that Sasquatch one. I think I've got a buddy in mind for that.
Yeah, one for the Squatch board.
Might have to swoop in and get one online.
All right. Yeah, no, I like the one with the mountains on it.
They were all just so
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, they're all absolutely beautiful. All right, well, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7, have a great rest of your night.
And for more of your local news, you can join us over on Fox 22 News Tonight at 6:30.
President Trump's move on tariffs. How could this affect American families and the prices you pay? Plus, the millions of federal workers bracing for what's next. World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Skudik and Bloom, a full-service, custom-designed florist, Main Street in Winter Harbor.
We can deliver one-of-a-kind, full-color flower arrangements
by custom floral designer me, Pam.
Delivering to Ellsworth and surrounding areas for any occasion.
Please visit skudikandbloom.com or call 844-SKUDIK.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from the comfort of your desktop or the convenience of your mobile device, you can summon transport and arrange a simple, affordable, respectful, Down East Direct Cremation for your deceased loved one.
Excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
There was no time frame discussed.
I kind of knew in May I was getting scammed.
Everyone's very happy, and some people have waited some time for the right puppy.
I have MS, and I needed a service dog.
She never mentioned anything about a service dog, and then she brought that in.
If you're going to get a dog and you need a dog, especially service dogs, do your homework.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
Hearts are heavy across Maine tonight after a Maine State Police K-9 was killed in the line of duty during a violent standoff in Portage last night. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Devin Dagnall. An Aroostook County Sheriff's deputy was wounded in that same standoff and is recovering. The suspect, who allegedly fired at police, is dead.
The Maine Department of Public Safety says authorities responded to Ranger Street in Portage for a domestic dispute involving 29-year-old Stephen Regini. A woman reported she and Regini had been fighting and that he pushed her into a wall. When police arrived to help her leave, she was outside, but Regini was still inside with their 4-week-old infant. Police say they eventually talked Regini into coming outside, but there was a struggle when they tried to place him under arrest. Officials say Regini pulled a gun from his waistband and shot at the officers while fleeing